So we're going to go straight into it. This session is predominantly going to be interviewing Matt, who, for those of you that have been in the academy for a while, you will know. So just to kind of get you excited for what Matt's journey has entailed and what he's going to be talking about today. So he joined the academy last year in August, and he very quickly started to make progress. He hit the £10,000 mark. He hit the 10K club in 11 weeks of selling, and he's now on his third product. He's also selling in the US, which is something that I really want to learn about from him. And he's also got his product into shops around the country. Again, that's something that I really want to learn about how he's done. So, before we bring him on, you guys know that whenever I do a student interview, I like to just do little snapshots of what they've said in the group since they joined. And Matt, actually, I've just been chatting to him now. He's actually been very, very active in the group. So it's been really easy to kind of just take snapshots of his journey to date. So to start off with, he's got his very first post in the group. This is when he joined, and he basically just said he's super excited. He's looking forward to learning from everybody. And thanks to those that recommended the Smashers Academy to him in the other Facebook group. I do remember when he was joining, he was doing his fair share of digging. He made a post and said, "Can everybody let me know how the Smashers Academy is?" And I was truly blessed to see tons of you guys posting in the comments box saying you have to join. So hopefully he's not regretted that decision. But then in September, so he joined, sorry, on the 23rd of August, and literally less than a month later, he'd already cracked on with his product research, and he'd got a sample, which is amazing progress. What I do think is quite funny here is that he said, I'm about to order my first sample after hours of product research. I don't think he quite realized that, people out there, myself included, spend days and weeks doing product research. So he was actually very, very quick. So he ordered his samples 16th of September, and then he turned into a little dancing fairy on the 18th of February. 18th of February is when he started selling, and he made his first sale with no PPC and no reviews. Again, I need to learn how he's done that, because having launched 12 products now, I still have never got to that position. So he made his first sale on the 18th of February, and then you can see him here on the 6th of May. So after just 11 weeks of actually selling, he cracked the 10K club, and just, he's not stopped since. So you can see him there with his awesome award. And here is what it looks like today. So he's done £61,000 since he first started selling at the beginning of the year. So that is just a little summary of his journey to date. I'm now going to bring on the main man himself. Hey, Matt.
How you doing? You built me up there.
I did, yeah. You've got to live up to that now, that big build up. Yeah. So welcome, Matt. Firstly, before we get into the questions, congratulations on reaching that milestone. It's actually been very tricky to pin you down because you've got a family and kids, haven't you? So we've had this booked in for a while. So you're actually nearly at the 100K mark. So we might be seeing you again before long.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think the sales in America have helped boost it a little bit. The trajectory is going a bit more, but
yeah, absolutely. It's that little pattern there that I just showed with the sales. It's like little stepping stones. So yeah, I don't think it will be long for sure. But before we do kind of run through your journey to date, Matt, just summarize to me what it felt like to get to that 10K mark. I know that it was quite a few months ago now, but you can probably still remember it.
Yeah, it's buzzing, absolutely sky high. When I got there, and I think like 11 weeks just seemed to take forever, to get to that point. But now when I see it there, 11 weeks, I did it in 11 weeks. Really pleased with that.
Yeah,
£10 product as well. So I think that shows the amount of volume of the sales. Yeah, really
absolutely.
pleased.
Yeah, no biggie, whatever. Okay, so we were just having a quick chat before we kind of went live, weren't we? And I said, it's a frequent occurrence where I talk to my students so much on email and in the group and stuff, but we don't really have any face-to-face interaction. So this is going to be a great learning experience for me as well, just to learn about you. But should we just kind of go right back to the beginning and just learn more about the man that is Matt? So, you know, what you kind of did before Amazon FBA, what led you to starting to do it, and so on.
Yeah, I'm a teacher, so that's my full-time job. So I get quite a bit of time in the holidays and stuff to get some stuff done. Like to do things with the kids. It costs money, so I needed a bit of extra money, and it's expensive to do all this stuff. So tried a number of little sort of side jobs, side businesses that were fairly successful, but took time. I just hadn't got the time. And I remember I was painting my daughter's room, and I put my laptop on, put YouTube on, and I was looking up about drop shipping. I was just watching this video about drop shipping. You know how it goes. It goes on to the next video and then the next video. I got paint all on my hands. I was really in a real mess. Couldn't change the laptop over to a different thing. And then you came on. I thought, oh, this guy sounds all right. You know,
all right.
All the others full of ego, aren't they? You know, Lamborghinis and all that business. And it just wasn't for me. And you came on. I started listening. I switched on to you, and I watched a fair few of your videos. Signed on to the webinar. And I think it was the next day after doing my due diligence, making sure you were that good.
You were very thorough, as I said.
Yeah. You got to do it, haven't you? And that's it. And signed up and didn't look back then. I've got a few more weeks of summer holidays left. So I did smash through the course, literally. Watched it all the time to get through the course quickly and get those first samples ordered.
Okay, that's actually kind of cleared up for me then how you managed to make so much progress. So you were basically in the summer holidays.
Yeah.
And were your kids like, Dad, can we go out? And you're like, no, I'm doing product research.
Yeah. We went down to Peppa Pig World, and I got the Mystery Drive, and I just watched you all the way there, all the way back, and all that kind of stuff. So just pinching little bits of time here and there. I managed to get through it quite quickly.
Yeah, awesome. So what kind of led you more down the Amazon FBA route, drop shipping, if it hadn't have been for the gurus going on about Lambos and things like that? Was there anything in particular?
It felt like success was more sort of possible on Amazon. It felt like I could see real progress with what you were saying. I did watch a few other people as well, and it was more structured. I think drop shipping is quite open, isn't it? And you can do lots of different things. Where I think, FBA. I mean, I've been an Amazon Prime customer myself for years and kind of like the model, and it just suited me, I think.
Yeah. And I think actually it's August 2020, wasn't it? Because dropshipping is something that I've looked at as well. And I think I started looking at it when lockdown happened and, planes weren't taking off as frequently as they were before. So that meant that post was massively delayed. And I was just like, that's just, as a customer, I would hate that, ordering something and having to wait 2 months or something like that. So that's what kind of made me think, actually, I'm not even going to bother with it. So, okay, it was that magic day in August that you decided to enroll, and then you had a couple of trips to Peppa Pig World where you were secretly watching me. So how did it kind of unravel from there? Because you did actually find a product and order a sample really, really quickly. I know in that post you were like, oh, it's taken forever and all that, but it's you certainly did it a lot quicker than I did.
Yeah, it felt like it at the time. I mean, the first product I went with, it was an electrical product. I don't know if you remember. Got a sample over and we liked it, but there's a few things I wanted to change.
Yeah.
And the margins when I was speaking to suppliers seemed fine until I wanted these changes, and the unit cost just went up. So I think because it was just a small order, it was going to be 200 units, and so the unit cost went up. And I spent a lot of time talking to the suppliers with that, and at the end, I almost, just went with it, and then I just sort of thought, no, I can't do it. It's not right. And I sort of like bit the bullet and decided not to progress with that particular that product, which was hard because you spend so much time trying to do something. You fall in love with it. Your heart's in it, and then it's like, oh, no, it's not right. So then I moved on to another 2 products. Actually, I couldn't decide between the 2. The one was, I can tell you now, the one was a drill brush, so things that you pop on your drills and you can clean with. So I ordered some of those, and then another product, which was they're quite bulky, and it was going to take 55, 60 days to come, and I was impatient. I wanted to get something on sale soon, so I ordered also a smaller product that I could fly over and get selling. As you say, it was in February by this time, sort of December time. I was doing the ordering of this. I could start selling these smaller products in February, and as it was, they sold really well, and I kept with them. And the other product came. And there was all sorts of problems with them. Sent them into Amazon anyway was a bad idea. And
Was this the
yeah,
drill brush? Was it that you
over
said you
drill
sent in?
bucket, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd lost sort of. I fell out of love with them by this point because I was really enjoying selling the other products that were doing
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really naive. I ordered the drill brushes. They showed me a picture of them put into the box, and I thought, yeah, that looks fine. Yeah, didn't inspect them or anything. Just send them over. But the box was too small, so the bristles had all squashed down by the time they got to me. You leave them out of the box for like 2 or 3 days, they go back to normal. But of course,
Yeah.
customers on Amazon were opening them up, looking at them, and there's just a slight sort of dent. And obviously, I was getting negative reviews because of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to pull those, which was a shame.
So that was good, really, that way back when you kind of were deliberating between, the product that you actually went for and the product that you were kind of in love with initially, that you removed the emotion from it. I think that is actually really hard. I definitely had that as well with my first product. That I didn't actually end up selling either. I was just like, no, I've got so many good ideas. The brand name is so good. And, I'm going to be able to get my friend to have a picture with it and it'll just look awesome. And, you kind of have to step away, don't you? And think, yeah, I have invested a lot of time, but investing money might not be such a sensible thing.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you did specifically to remove yourself from the equation of whether this is a good product to sell, like take out the emotion?
I think you just look at the figures. I really do. I think it's look at the figures, thinking, I'm not going to make money with this if I do this.
Yeah.
And that was enough for it. I spent what seemed like a long time trying to find ways to cut costs and stuff, but realistically, I just knew I wasn't going to be able to and sell the volume to get enough profit from it. So yeah, I think it was just the money in the end.
But then there was obviously a tiny bit of you that thought, actually, this might be worth ordering. And then is that what made you put the order in and you were actually proven right?
With this, what's that? Sorry, with the sponges?
With the drill brushes. So you actually did put an order in, right?
Oh yeah, the brushes. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I think the smaller units, so the smaller product that I've stuck with now, they only cost a small amount because the costs are low. So I have some money left over, and I thought, oh yeah, let's go with the drill brushes as well.
Yeah,
just do it. You got to take a few gambles, a few risks, haven't you? But
yeah, absolutely. But it does show that you should listen to your head, I suppose.
Yeah.
When it comes to deciding whether to go forward with a product. But that's the product that didn't do so well, but you did actually kind of know that, and you, like you said, you just took a little gamble just to see if you were wrong, but you were right. But with the product that you have started selling, which is now evolved into products, like you've done an absolutely fantastic job. So let's talk about maybe how you first came across that type of product. Did you use a different research method? What kind of made you aware that this product niche existed?
Yeah, I'd seen some things on the news. I was looking at what was topical in the news and what sort of trends might be coming. And I spotted this sort of opportunity, and I looked what was around that niche. It wasn't specifically that niche, but I looked what else was out there. Saw on Amazon that they were selling fairly well. But then I went on to Alibaba, and they kind of the costs again, they wouldn't have worked out for me. I think people must be buying them in big volumes. But then I found a product similar that wasn't being sold on Amazon. And I think this was really a benefit. Or it was, but not on Prime, or by the Chinese, and the branding was terrible. So I thought there's an opportunity here. It's this particular type within the niche isn't really being sold very well on Amazon. Let's try and brand it well and give it a go. And luckily, it worked out well for me, and I was able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I've said, you've done an outstanding job. So you found the product, you ordered it, and what did you do in the interim between ordering it and getting it delivered to Amazon? Because this is leading me on to my next point, which is you started selling with no PPC and no reviews, like people were just buying out of thin air.
Yeah, social media, massive. Right. It was huge. Yeah, so obviously I spent loads of time doing my product research, and now I'm twiddling my thumbs. What do I do? So I set up social media for it, and I think it was almost by chance. The community around this niche and this product's huge. There's so many people passionate about these types of products.
Yeah,
that they'll even photograph themselves with it and show off essentially that they're using it, and that worked out really well for me. So started setting up social media, getting engagement going on that, so that when I did get the product into the country and into Amazon, I'd already got a kind of a bit of a few hundred engaged sort of followers going on with it, and they were just getting straight onto it and buying it, and it was really good. Yeah, it felt really well. Felt really nice.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And prior to that, had you had much involvement in social media, Instagram, or anything like that? Like, have you got any specific tips? Because I've tried it. I'll be the first to admit I'm not the biggest
Mhm.
on running my product social media. I started it and I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, it's quite difficult to keep up. But as somebody that's seen your Instagram, I know that you're very, very active and
Well,
engaging.
yeah, so I mean, one of the things I did as well in the interim, I read a few books, but one of them that stood out was the one-page marketing plan. Alan Dibb, I think it was the author. And that was really useful because it's useful because it helps you identify who your audience or your customers are going to be. It also
Yeah.
helps you to think how you can, the book is about how you can then market your product to them. So I read that first. That was really gave me a sort of direction to follow on there. And some of the things I read as well was that try and do at least, and this is hard every day, but 30 minutes engagement. It doesn't necessarily mean putting posts up on your social media every day, but getting
Yeah.
engaged with customers and such, like just commenting on things they're saying. And that
Is it on your own posts, is it, or just like
no
similar?
anything that's topical to you.
Oh, that's a good tip.
People will read through the comments and then they'll,
Yeah.
this company, and I click on it and it leads you through. So it just gets you people's eyes, I suppose.
Yeah.
In sense as well. And I try to do that every day, but then I'll go for weeks where I just do 10 minutes a day, and but then I can see, like, if I do it, I do get a lot more sales from it. Well, not a lot more, but I see sort of significant lift when I do.
Yeah. Well, I know it's definitely helped you with your reviews. Wait, it seems to, because you share stories, don't you, where you say, "Oh, this customer's posted a selfie with it and done this,"
Yes.
and that always ends up on your review page.
Yeah.
Do you know how many reviews you're on at the moment?
I'm on about just less than 400.
Oh yeah, which that's fantastic considering you only started selling in February or whatnot. It's a good review rate,
Yeah.
and a lot of those have pictures. And
Yeah.
you've got a 5-star rating, don't you?
4.8, I think.
But it's 5
Oh, it
stars.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really rare.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
fantastic. I remember you posting in the group and you were like, was it a 1-star or a 4-star that it was something, and you were just like, yeah, my
yeah,
score's still 5, but it's just annoying.
yeah. It's devastated.
There's always one person though, isn't there, that just has to ruin the fun and just complain over something really minor.
Yeah, it does.
So,
It spoils your day at the time, doesn't it? You really do get
yeah, it does ruin your day. But after, if you've only had one, wait till
Mm.
you get, your 5th and 6th. By then, you're just like, oh, whatever, it's absolutely fine. Okay, so you launched the product and you were just smashing it and getting sales with no PPC and no reviews. But that kind of traction never actually slowed down. The sales continued. Do
Mhm.
you think there was anything in particular that helped you stand out versus the presumably increasing amount of competitors?
Yeah, I think the branding, really. I think the branding tied up with what I was doing over on Instagram. It just helped, I think, really getting a product that I was proud of every aspect of it. The packaging, everything it said. I really worked hard to make sure that it was perfect. But I also, as well, it's just a small proportion of every sale goes to charity. And I think that's just something that people are into that. People like to do that. I don't sort of factor that. I don't add costs to it. It's just just comes out of the profit, and it is only a small amount. But then again, people talk about that. The reviews mention it, and people on Instagram talk about it. That a bit of the money goes to charity, and I think that helps as well. Really, that's a bit of differentiation that other competitors aren't doing.
Yeah. Definitely, and it works really well with your branding and your images and all that as well, because I think you kind of reference it quite a lot, don't you?
Yeah. I shout about it all the time.
Yeah. Well, you've got to. You got to. Okay, cool. So that's working on like the front end customer side. What about on the supply side? So how is your supplier? Did you have quite a few suppliers to choose from when you were choosing the product, or was it just like, I've got to go with this person?
I had quite a few. I had quite a few samples. There's a funny story actually. I don't know if I told you this, but so I had samples from lots of them, and one of the suppliers was going to go with, they raised the price. Just as you place the order. I know that's happened to a few other people.
Yeah.
And I just like, no, game over. Then you're not doing that to me, sort of thing. I'm not. You need a relationship, don't you, that you're going to get along with. So I went then with a another bunch of samples and had another go with them. I found out then I had a video on your Alibaba came through on a message from one of the original suppliers that I'd got the samples from the first time, saying, "Oh, hi Matt, I noticed that you've actually ordered them through another person." So
Really?
the supplier that I went with wasn't actually the supplier; they were getting their supplies from one of the people I
Like a
went.
trading company.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So then I managed to go back to that supplier, the one who sent the video through. And I managed to negotiate a cheaper price with them and went back with them anyway. So it was kind of by chance, but I managed to get a good deal out of that. She's since been sacked apparently, and I've got a new contact at this
Oh,
company.
really? Oh, it makes such a
Yeah,
difference, doesn't
yeah,
it? I've had that before where I've been speaking to one supplier company, and the agent person that I was speaking to on Alibaba was just like rude, wasn't really giving me
mm,
any response. So I thought, I really want to get this product from this company because nobody else sold it. So I just messaged another agent, like, because sometimes Alibaba will have more than one account, and she
uh-huh.
was the complete opposite. And it's like, you could have lost my business there if I hadn't
Mhm.
have thought to have done that. Did the first supplier ever get back to you and say, well,
They,
you
they,
ditched us?
no, they keep saying, do you want any more supplies? What's happening, sort of thing. But yeah, I thought I'd rather
Yeah.
go straight to there's a new person at the supplier I'm using now, and I like her, and the price is cheaper, and I'd rather go straight to the manufacturer really rather than
Yeah, absolutely. And
if
I know
possible.
you've gone on to launch a couple more products fairly recently, haven't you? Is that all from the same supplier, or have you, branched out?
Different, yeah. They're three different suppliers actually.
Oh, are they?
Um,
Okay.
mm, so the one product's actually made in Germany, and they're getting it in China and selling it back to me that way. And the other one's made in China, but yeah, by a different supplier again. So it's three different suppliers I'm using.
And
Uh,
so for the German one, how did you source their details?
they've got it was on China's a supply on China Alibaba, but they've got German stock of this product that's made in
Oh, okay.
Germany, and there's Chinese versions of it which aren't as good.
Ah,
So yeah,
yeah.
they've managed to source it over there, and then and they've
Yeah,
sent.
that's really good. So, did you just kind of have another product idea in mind, and you thought, I'll just start again, kind of searching for a supplier, or did you
Yeah,
ask your existing one?
ask the existing one first. They could only supply me with the Chinese version of this product, which is it's not as good. It really isn't.
Yeah, I think
Hence,
if you don't know what the product is, you'd be like, "What on earth does it mean? A Chinese
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chinese writing on it or something?" So they did supply you with other products, did they? And it just wasn't as good.
Wasn't as good. Yeah, yeah. So I knew I needed to go with that. Yeah, so three different suppliers, but I use the same printer for each one because I want to control the packaging so that if I do want to go to another supplier for any point, or move suppliers, I'm still controlling a lot of the aspects of it. So the packaging and the printing and everything, I'm still controlling, and I get them to send that to each supplier for me.
Oh, do you? And does that boost up your costs a lot, or?
No, I haven't found it did. No, 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 not at
That's
all
good.
actually. Yeah, because you can shop around and stuff then. But I've
Yeah.
got a good over there.
Did you find that packaging supply just on Alibaba like a normal supplier then?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's quite a good
yeah,
tip because I've been a bit lazy and just done it through my
yeah.
supplier. Just said, can you sort it out? But I guess that leads me on to yeah, profit. That's the reason why you've got very good profit margins. So I didn't realize this, but before we had this chat, I asked you and you told me, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, and that's after PPC. So
Mhm.
yeah, remind me of what your profit margin is.
Yeah, so shopkeeper tells me it's 24%, and that's after PPC,
Yeah,
which I'm really pleased with. Yeah,
that is fantastic. Yeah. And are your PPC costs fairly low in terms of ACOS or?
yeah. In the UK they are. I think we've had this conversation on our messenger and stuff, but in America it's really high. Yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
struggling with PPC over there, which we
Yeah.
might talk about in a minute. But yeah, over in England, or in the UK, it's fairly reasonable for me really.
Yeah.
I'm getting a decent amount. I think it's about 20% ACOS, and it's much less TACOS when we think of it like that.
Decent. So you've got very high margins before then. It's like 40,
Mhm.
50%.
On the first product, it is, yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
margin, I think it's 45% before.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Um, so let's talk a bit about then your expansion to the Wild West, the US. I think again, when I was looking through your posts in the group, you decided to do that fairly quickly. What was the process there in
So I'd
terms of
had quite a few.
expanding?
Yeah, I mean, I had quite a few messages on social media and into my inbox as well, actually, on my email from people in America, Canada, and such like, sort of asking, where can we get hold of these? Where can we get hold of these products? So I knew there'd be a bit of a market. It's something I wanted to do, but there's not a lot out there about finding out exactly how to go about it. I asked on the group if anyone had experience, and there was very few. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it and not worry about it later, but work it out as I go.
Yeah.
Yes, I signed up for it. You have to do like a tax interview, which sounds quite daunting, but it's not too bad when you read about it and work out what all the terms mean. Yeah, and then it's just the same, isn't it? Just shipping it out over there to America, just as you'd ship it into, a fulfillment center in the UK. There's a few problems I had along the way. So my product is in the groceries category in the UK, but it doesn't work in that category over in the States. It needs to be in home and kitchen. I think they move it to. So when I was putting my ISIN in to create a product, it was disallowing it. It wasn't letting me put it in because the categories didn't match up, and the seller support was as useless as ever. It took weeks just to get the listing up on there, really. But eventually got there, and it's selling fairly well. But yeah, as I've already mentioned, the ACOS costs are really high. PPC is twice or even more the cost as it is in the UK, which is affecting margins.
Yeah, I've read that. I think it's just because it's such a big market. You've got 300 million plus shoppers, whereas in the UK, it's 60 or so. So the competition is way higher, because if you can get to that front page position, then you're absolutely golden. It's something that I've recently learned about in one of my niches, because I recently took the decision to launch a product, which because you helped with a review. I took the decision to launch in a really competitive category because I had a great idea that no one else was doing. And yeah, the sales are good, but the PPC cost is just ridiculous. Like, I can be paying £2 or £2.50 per click, which really adds up, but I'm kind of doing it with the long game in mind, which is I just want to get to that front page position because the sales are so much higher than other niches I'm in. And I think it would be the same for you, if you can kind of grin and bear it, kind of reallocate profits from the UK business or elsewhere. Once you get to that front page, which I'm sure you will, given, you've also got this massive social media presence, you'll be able to benefit, massively.
Yeah, excited to do that this last few weeks. Actually, I've sort of ramped up the PPC just to try and get some more organic sales, and it is kind of working. You can see it's happening. It's interesting you say about the market. So I went into the American market cold. They didn't transfer my reviews over, so I had no reviews. And you're literally up against your competitors who've got thousands. It's not like in the UK where they've got perhaps 500-600, and you think, well, I can, that's a lot in it, but I can compete. It's thousands, and you're there with just a few reviews. I think that's a challenge as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've covered your expansion to the US. What about your expansion just off Amazon within the UK? Because I really want to learn how you did this. So you're in a number of shops, like different shops that aren't related at all, aren't you, throughout the country?
Yeah. It started to happen to me, really. I was having shops contact me,
Oh, really? That's easy.
I remember it was a Saturday morning. I had an email come through. Bought your products off Amazon. Love it. Can we stock it in our store? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. But I had no idea of the process of it. So I thought, right, I need to buy myself a bit of time here. Luckily, it was a Saturday morning. I said, right, I'll get back to you on Monday. Spent the weekend looking up how to wholesale, the principles of it, how you work out your pricing, how, what details, invoicing, and all this kind of business. On the Monday, then I'd created a PDF, a wholesale pack, giving them incentives about, what to how I can get into more shops, 10% off your first order and all that kind of stuff.
Decent, yeah.
Just to get it going. Sent them some more samples as well, even though they'd already got a sample, because I think people just like that, don't they? It gives them the chance to customers in the store, and so then obviously I've got all this set up. I've got my wholesale pack. I've got a sort of system in place if people want to stock us. So I started approaching other stores then. So I get on Instagram saying, I think our product will look great on your shelves. Would you let us send some samples over to you? free stuff. Yes, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'd love to have a sample, and then I send my wholesale pack over with it as well, so they can see the details. And I get a pretty good success rate from it.
Yeah.
Probably 60 or 70% of them have placed an order.
Really, that's fantastic. And how are you finding them? Are you literally just searching?
Yeah, through Instagram.
Oh,
So
right. Yeah.
yeah, so obviously I'm quite active in the niche on Instagram, and you look at what other people who I follow are commenting on, and I've said about engagement. You just come across them in that way and drop them a. I always comment on a few of their posts first, just so they see you a few times.
So it's not out of the blue, and then you hit them with it.
Everyone hates that, don't they? Someone just dropping into their or whatever. So just get a bit of engagement going, and then drop them a message sort of saying,
amazing. So Instagram is the secret. Are you on TikTok?
Yeah, but I don't do a lot.
Yeah,
don't do a lot. But really, because other people are sharing our stuff on TikTok, so it's just good to comment on it and get a little bit of engagement that way. Yeah, but
yeah. You're going to need to hire a social media guru to help you with
it.
Yeah. I think actually there was a post in the group, wasn't there, from Sally the other day asking, and I think she was paying £60 a month for a post every day or something. But I think actually one of the secrets you revealed that's really important is the engagement. So the commenting on other people's, I think that can help lead others to you rather than just posting. So just for my interest here, because I did actually get contacted the other day by a store or something, and they just said, "Can you send your wholesale terms, like credit terms?" So do you offer credit or anything, or are you literally just saying you need to bank transfer this and then send it from Amazon?
Yeah, so I use QuickBooks. So I do all the invoicing through QuickBooks, and the terms I'm using at the moment is literally payment on invoice on the order.
Pay immediately.
Yeah, and then I send the goods out. Yeah, my suppliers I sort of said that would have to be your first order, and then for further orders, within 30 days. But actually, they all pay instantly anyway.
Do
So
they?
they're quite small orders. They're ordering 20, 25 units. So
Yeah. But it's a start, isn't it, to hopefully something much, much bigger. And then are you getting your supplier to ship them, or are you shipping from Amazon or yourself?
I've got them here. Yeah.
Have you? Okay, awesome. So bet
I've
your
got
wife is pleased.
website. Yeah. She's all right actually. Yeah, it's not too bad. They've just taken over the dining room. It's just part of the furniture. It's just cardboard boxes.
Just to be
But yeah, I sell on
expected.
Shopify as well. On eBay as well. So we need some stock at home as well, just to send them out when we can.
Yeah, and do you get much volume from eBay, or is it predominantly Amazon?
Yeah, it's massively through Amazon. I mean, I'll sell probably 200, 300 units a week on Amazon, and it's probably 2 or 3 or maybe 5 on a good week from home.
Yeah.
The margins are higher.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
cool. So guys, just if you I can see that there's a fair few of you watching. If you haven't got any questions, post them in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll just keep reading through mine. But yeah, Matt would love to hear from you. Any questions you've got, whatever you would like to ask about, his business, his products, etc. Just post them in the comment box. So Matt, one post that I saw that you made in the group was about persistence and mindset. And I think you actually posted this fairly early on in your journey. It may have been just as you placed your first order. You were like, if you're thinking of giving up, don't, etc.
yeah.
What do you have to say to that? Was there anything that led you to making that post, or have you always thought it and you just wanted to get it out?
Yeah, I think it's such an important thing. And I think, you do get so many setbacks. Product research is so tough. Just talking with suppliers is so tough. And then you get your samples and you're not happy with them. And you do spend a lot of time just almost getting nowhere before you place your first order. You go around in circles and all that sort of stuff. So I think it would have been easy for me at any point to say, well, suck it off. I spent too much time on this. I'm not getting anywhere. But I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm so pleased that I didn't. I think really you do get setbacks, don't you? And sometimes it's an opportunity. Sometimes you get a setback, something's not going to work, and you find a better way of doing it anyway.
Yeah.
You get set in your ways, don't you? Sometimes, or you might just have to, sacrifice something, but you never need to give up. There's always a workaround. And even if that, my first sort of sample was an electronic product that I just sacked it off in the end, didn't want it anymore. But that worked out because I found something else, and I've got a good amount of success.
Yeah. I
keep
think
going.
I think you missed the last session where I spoke about that, but you've literally just summarized everything that I said as well. So it's a great mindset to have as an entrepreneur to just keep going and, always bounce back from any problems that you may encounter. Okay, so we've got a question from Mr. and Mrs. Facebook user that's probably somebody that's recently joined the academy and might be feeling a bit overwhelmed or scared. But yeah, did you find well, is setting up initially as scary as they may think it is? So did you find it daunting, or were you just need to get on with it?
Yeah, it's a real mix of emotions, isn't it? Because there's so much excitement. You're at the start of something that could turn into something really big for you. So it is so exciting, but at the same time, it's your money that you're using to get this sort of benefit or to take, and it is a risk. It really is a risk. I remember placing my first order, and it felt like, I think my first order was around £1,000, and I remember thinking, God, I've just spent £1,000 on some things. I don't even know if they're going to sell. Hope they do. You've just got everything crossed, haven't you? And now you sort of placing thousands and thousands of pounds orders. I mean,
Yeah,
I know you placed a massive one, a huge one yourself, haven't you? And
I have to worry about that.
You
Yeah, as
still
soon
get
as
that
I sent it, I
worry,
was
don't
just like,
you? Yeah, what am I
yeah,
doing? Is
yeah,
it worth
exactly.
it? Yeah, but fortunately for me, it was worth it. And yes, scary, but only because you're not sure. It's uncertainty, I think, really, on what's going to
Yeah, and you're never
happen.
going to have that. I still have that. I've been doing it, placing orders for like 3 years. Every time I send it, I'm just kind of like, oh, what happens if this? What happens if that? And it's just about weighing it up, isn't it? And
Yeah,
thinking about the positives, all the research that you have done, and what actually something I saw the other day is instead of thinking about what happens if it goes wrong, the better mindset is what happens if it goes right.
yeah,
Think about
it's
all
not.
the upside that could happen if this happens and that happens, etc. So yeah, that's the approach I take. So we've got Joe who said, great work. How does the charity donation work? Is it automatic, or do you send the money manually yourself?
Right, yeah. So it is manual. It's just a little bit of work that I need to do quarterly. So I've sort of signed up with a charity. I think I pay an initial sort of admin fee to them to sign up. You get listed on their website and that sort of thing. But then every quarter they just ask me for how many, what donation I want to make.
Oh
So I
yeah,
sort of, yeah. So I decide how much I'm going to make per product, and then donation I'm going to make per product, and then every quarter they just get in touch, and there's a quick form online I fill in, and then send the money off to them, and it's minimal work really for the
yeah,
benefit
yeah,
that I see in it. It really is a big boost, I think, being able
yeah.
to do that.
I think you could probably do that for so many different product niches if you put your mind to it. I'm just thinking now, even like a water bottle or something, you could be like, save the ocean. I think that's actually, I was thinking about this earlier because there's a guy I watch on YouTube, and he said for every pound you donate to this company, they will get a pound of waste from the sea and take it out. So
Yeah,
I was thinking in terms I'm always thinking Amazon, thinking,
yeah,
I wonder if you could say something like that. So for every pound profit we make, we remove a pound rubbish from the sea and stuff like that. And you could probably do that for water bottles, anything, possibly made of plastic,
yeah.
etc. So yeah, it's a great way to separate yourself from the crowd for sure. Because I don't think Chinese sellers would do that. Could
No,
be wrong. I
no.
don't think they would. Okay, so Richard is asking, how did you set up in the USA? Was it a European company or separate entity? And what about insurance and compliance topics?
Right. So same company. So you just set up with your UK company. I think if you want to set up a company in the States, you have to physically be there or get someone to do it for you. There's a term around it, but yeah, you just set up same seller central account. You just sign up and it links that through, and you put all your details in. In terms of sort of like compliance in insurance, I'm not really sure. I haven't done anything with insurance, but taxes. When you do tax interview, it categorizes you in what sort of category you're going to be in,
Yeah.
and for most of us, we wouldn't need to pay tax on our profits. And that's because we're paying corporation tax in the UK, and there's a treaty between the two countries that you don't get double taxed. You
Yeah.
haven't got taxation on it. So you don't need to worry about that. Sales tax is one thing that you do need to consider, although there's an increase in movement for the certain states in America where they're forcing Amazon to do that for you and collect the taxes for you. So, or nearly all of my sales tax is gathered and collected by Amazon, so I don't need to worry.
Is that like VAT then? So is it a
Yeah,
similar
that's right.
rate?
Yeah, it's yeah, it varies per state as well. It's a similar sort of rate. Some of them are a lot less, and it does vary quite a bit from state
So
to
you
state.
don't actually know how much profit you're making, like per sale, until you've seen what state they're in.
They add it on. So my products, I mean, at the moment, I've sort of reduced the price to try and get a rank. But my product's $9.99. So they add the tax onto it. So a customer, if it's sort of 10%, they'll be paying, you know, sort of 11.
Ah, okay. So it doesn't come like in the UK, it's included, isn't it? The VAT.
Yeah.
Ah, got it. That's helpful.
It gets
That's
added on.
helpful.
Mhm.
Cool. Okay, so I just don't. We're kind of running over a bit now, and I don't want to take up everybody's Saturday morning. So let's just round off the discussion with your highlights. So what would you say has kind of been the best moment of your Amazon journey to date? And I'm sure there'll be many more.
Yeah, well, there's loads of good moments. I think your first sale, that little bit of sort of confirmation or affirmation that what you were doing and what you were thinking and this thing that you've made and put together, someone wants. Your first sale and your first good review as well, your first genuine good
Yes,
review.
first genuine review. Yeah,
Yeah, because then you kind of feel that, right, something I've made that I think's brilliant, someone else thinks is really good as well. And that, I think that's your first sort of your first high, you know.
yeah,
You said that was a
absolutely.
dancing fairy or something, didn't you? Or,
You went from Jonah Hill. You went from Jonah Hill, where you were like, "I've just enrolled," and then you turn into a fairy. So yeah, no, I completely agree. I still remember my first sale, and even now when I'm launching new products, I had my first genuine review on this new product that I did the other day, and I was just like, "Yes, a real person actually likes this."
yeah.
But yeah, it certainly is an amazing feeling. So thank you very much, Matt, for joining me today and letting me just fire questions at you. It's been fantastic to learn about your journey and to also get those tips from you. I'm definitely going to have another go at the social media front and commenting on people's posts and things like that. But so yeah, thank you once again. Before we kind of like close the session, is there anything that you would kind of say to those watching, particularly about, you know, keep going, and or just, you know, something that you think is worth knowing
Yeah, I
about?
think it is that idea. Just keep going, get your mindset that you're not going to give up, because it you know, it probably will be worth it. You know, keep going. If you're going to make a good product eventually, you'll get setbacks. You know, I certainly did. But also, you know, cut your ties if you feel that you need to with a product. Don't let your heart stay in it, because I think that can be dangerous too. But yeah, keep going and get social media on the go if you can. I don't think it'll work with every niche, but I think with some it certainly would do.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt, and I'm sure it won't be long before we're inviting you back on again for your 100K club.
Fingers
But yeah,
crossed.
really appreciate everyone watching as well for you know, watching on your Saturday mornings. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. And as always, any questions or anything like that, post them in the comments box or in the group, or drop me a mail. So enjoy the rest of your Saturday. See you later. Thank you.
Thanks.